There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Putas.
Hey everybody, it's me, Leah.
And me, Bethany.
And hey, how's it going? We're here.
Yeah, living life. But today we're going to be talking about Sloss Furnace.
Ooh.
So Sloss Furnace is a blast furnace in Birmingham, Alabama, also known as the Magic City for the iron industry.
Sounds magical.
It was a part of the, quote, New South, kind of like around industrialism. But the Sloss Furnace was only in production around like 1881-ish to 1971. And now it's just kind of like a museum kind of thing.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback on that, no pun intended, Sloss Furnace helped produce pig iron. So Sloss Furnace it produced pig iron as well as copper and lead, which we'll definitely talk about. But really what brings the guys to the location is some of what I'm going to share with you all, and how some lives were unfortunately lost there at Sloss Furnace, given the circumstances, the elements that we're working with, workers caught on fire, some stories that we heard with some of the interviews that the guys did before the investigation. They said that there were two guys who got hit so hard with a blast of steam that their skin boiled. And what I thought was not cool about this story, but interesting, was the guy says that these two men run up the stairs, and he said they were dead before they realized it. Like their body just reacted to this instant blast of steam boiling their flesh, and they tried to run away from it, but they died on sight, unfortunately. So we're dealing with a lot of OSHA violations. I think we're dealing with
OSHA. I don't even know if OSHA was a thing.
OSHA didn't exist.
When this happened. Oh, because, dude. Okay, so when he told this story, because it was like a valve broke and it was like re-welded on, and then they just like turned the little machine back on without like any kind of test. They were just like welded it back together, like, all right, let's go.
Get to work.
And then it exploded, and they like, these guys got scalded, like they boiled.
It's intense, yeah.
And it kind of made me think of Freddy Krueger.
Oh yeah,
I was like, shit, that's how Freddy Krueger became Freddy Krueger. He got steam boiled.
So not a pretty picture. And for some of the other tragedies on site, there was a man, and the way the same guy's telling all these stories, the guy that Zach is interviewing, he says this guy's hanging out having lunch by this huge furnace wheel, and like really where no one should have lunch. Again, these guys didn't have like a break room or anything to go into, so he's chilling, eating his sandwich, and then this big gust of wind comes and takes him, and he gets really kind of smushed in this wheel, and the wheel doesn't stop, right, and it crushes this man, and it sounded really horrible. So we have a lot of people losing their lives, a lot of people falling off from high up. Hundreds of
from
stories.
the catwalks and stuff.
Yeah, from the catwalks. They're breathing in this.
I think it's like over 200 feet tall or whatever, because Zach and Nick eventually go up one.
There.
Yeah, and people were falling to their death.
Yeah, as they're breathing in carbon monoxide. So, I mean, all these elements, and they're falling to their death. Now, one of the main spirits and a big focus for the investigation is James Warwood, also, or better known as Slag. Now, he was a foreman for Sloss Furnace, and apparently the rumor is he was just such a hard ass, and he worked his crew down to the bone. Now, he unfortunately fell to his death as well, but stories go that he was pushed by his overworked employees, and let that be a message to anybody who's working their people too hard, you could get pushed and died and later haunt Sloss Furnace. So that's some of the history and why the guys show up and do their investigation here at Sloss.
I like kind of when they were going and doing like the preliminary interviews and stuff, when Nick and Zach went up one of the catwalks, and like the whole time Zach is like, watch for the cracks, it's so rusty, and like they get up there. Oh my God. It's a really incredible view. It was definitely like obviously worth them going up there. They got great shots, but Zach was so scared. He was like, I don't do heights. And he was like hunched over and like waddling.
Yeah.
That was the best. It was so good.
You know, it was great. And I love that he takes his time and tells Nick to stay back as he wobbles and gets safe. And then once he's safe, he's like, hurry up, Nick, get over here.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Like, dude, I was giving you space, man. Oh my God, I love Zach. At some point, he was like, even when you talk to me, it scares me. Like, just chill for a second. Just chill. Like, he was so scared up there.
Yeah.
But shit, I mean, I know I would be too. 200 feet up on some rickety ass 1800 built. Like, no.
I'm not going up there.
I'm not going up there.
No. It's got to be a weight capacity.
Fat ass would bust right through the rusted stairs. Like, there goes my ankle, like poof, right through.
Oh no, that was great. I think this episode brings us a lot though, right? So we get to see Zach's fear of heights, but we also get some of the highlights for me in the interviews are just the people that we meet out in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
I think one of them, his name's Kevin Walden. And this guy, so it's 2008, right? And this dude walks up, you know, with his shaggy hair and his DC shoes that, yes, I made note of.
Me too. In my notes, I wrote DC shoes.
But I think it's great because in his interview, it's fun to see how people are interested in the paranormal because he went out there on the search for something. So he's talking to Zach about his experience, and this young lad got slapped in the face. I can't recall him saying that he was doing any type of like provoking or anything like that. He said he was sitting in a place that Zach later then sits because of this kid's story. And he says that he got slapped right across the face, and it was a really crazy experience. So the interviews are fun, and the people are interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, what about Sarah, right? I think it was Sarah.
Oh, Sarah.
What did you call it? It was
I have the
Sloss.
Sloss tramp stamp.
Yeah.
So everyone know, if you don't know what a tramp stamp is, it's basically a design on a young gal's lower back, or a young man, you know, and it was, we call him a tramp stamp. So anyway, she has one, but it's the outline of Sloss, like the city skyline, and the city has like 3 buildings and like this big water tower. So A, it's not an attractive city. B, it's not a great place for a tattoo. And it's a really bad tattoo.
Yeah, that was wild. Like, she's so proud. I mean, I guess props to you for being like so proud to work at Sloss, but that was wild. That was a wild Sloss tramp stamp.
Oh, for sure. Maybe one of the scariest things we see the whole episode.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely put it at least a skimpy scare.
A skimpy scare for sure.
At least. What a scare.
For us, and we've mentioned before, like sharing with y'all online our nerve center. Now, the first time that we really see one is this episode. Oh, yeah. And it is the like most ranky-dank nerve center. But it's very telling to the time and the budget. It's, you know, their first season. And it's 2 big bubble TVs. Like, what'd you say? JVC TVs.
I was like, those are like JVC TVs.
With like the VCR incorporated into it. Like, it's a 2-in-1.
But yeah, they just had like 2 little TVs and on like this little broken round wooden table. And Aaron just had like a little metal fold out chair. And he looked so sad. Like, because he had to be out there monitoring Zach and Nick, and he just looked so bored and so sad. But then he what is it, walkie-talkies Zach, and he's like, hey guys, he says something I forgot, and Zach's like, don't talk to me right now, you really freaked me out. Like Zach gets like so scared. It was so cute. It was adorable.
Oh yeah, and Aaron just kind of laughs about it.
Aaron is such a like light in the darkness. Like
really
he's
is,
so sweet. He's always laughing, always really funny. He really is just like a little kid. There was a part where they were like in like the sewer water or whatever. And he was like splashing in it, and they were all like getting all pissed off, and he just is so like immature. He's like a little kid. And I love watching him for that. And he's just so sweet. But that nerve center, sorry, derail. That nerve center is just so rudimentary, but it's cool to see this is where nerve center started.
Right. Yeah. It's really cool. Little 2 walkies, 2 screen, or 1 screen. No,
it was two. It was 2 little
2 screens,
small
2 walkies, and 1 chair, 1 man, Aaron.
Yeah, and 1 man. Now, man, like later on, they get like Billy and Jay and Aaron, and sometimes like they'll all be out there watching like one guy investigate.
Yeah.
Nerve center gets pretty cool. So, but it's a really cute nerve center at this point.
Yeah, adorbs. The episode. And we'll get to the meat of it, right? But at the very end, which was surprising for me, and I don't know if it's too soon to mention the guest appearance at the end of the episode, because I didn't expect him so soon.
Me neither.
I didn't realize that Mr. Billy Tully is in episode 4, season 1. He makes his first appearance on Ghost Adventures.
We freaked out. We were like, oh my God,
like
Billy!
screams, like fangirl screams. Oh my God, Billy's there.
Well, because the thing is I feel like he was so behind the scenes more, and it takes time. It takes up until I want to say, if I remember correctly, of course we'll eventually rewatch, but I want to say they start weaning him in as Nick starts to get ready to go. So we start to see him a little more. Because I remember when Nick was leaving and they brought Billy in, and I was like, I don't want to see Billy, I want Nick. But now that I'm such a huge fan of like Billy and Jay, seeing him so early on was just such a treat.
It really was. Yeah, it was crazy. And he identifies himself, of course, Billy Tully, and he is a member of the Paranormal Investigators of Mysterious Phenomena Squad. Yes, I think I said
Squad, yeah.
Yeah, Squad, which broken down is pimps.
Billy, come on, man.
Billy. Okay, so this guy, Billy Tully, Google him if you don't know who we're talking about. But Billy Tully, look at this dude, not a pimp. Okay, he's not a pimp. And in this episode, definitely not. He's wearing like a backwards baseball cap. But if you look real close, he's got like this little blonde, like
duck
rat tail.
Yeah,
duck tail.
Or rat tail, yeah.
And it's just not okay.
And his little soul patch.
Oh my God, just this little patch under his lip. Pimps don't do that, Billy.
It was just, it wasn't a cute name. And I really hope that you grew from that, Billy. Like, I hope that you look back on that and are like, I probably should have named that something else. It's not cool.
Not cool at all. And we thought it was funny, and also kind of goes hand in hand with the idea that paranormal investigators are douchebags.
Ooh, and dudes.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if you were going to say that or not, because I know that like we talked about it, like, that's really douchey, but also very male.
Yeah. So it was interesting to see Billy at that point. Again, we were excited. We were also kind of cringy.
Yeah. But we also reminded ourselves, like, okay, it's like 2008. Which it's still not okay at that point, but I don't think it was as much of a conversation until maybe that year, a little bit later. Yeah. So it was just a little distasteful, just a bit. But we support anyone's endeavors into the paranormal, and we just loved seeing Billy so early on.
Yeah, so that was a big moment for us in that episode. So episode 4 rocked. And those, I think, were kind of with the history and the highlights kind of throughout the episode, I think, unless I missed something. Yeah, so I think with all that, it's time for a little honorable haunts
and skimpy scales.
Yeah, everybody, it's time for honorable haunts and skimpy scares. All don't know. You want to kick off some of the honorables or skimpies?
Let's start with skimpies. I like when we start with the skimpies and kind of build up from there.
You're right.
Well, I think, the first skimpy scare was that Sloss tattoo. It was pretty scary.
That tramp stamp.
That tramp stamp. And I have to admit, Billy's soul patch was a little scary too. That was a little scary. But as far as, ghosts and stuff goes...
What did I have?
So right when they start investigation, it's like 8 o'clock. I wrote it down. It's 8:15 p.m. when Zach gets a chill down his spine from seeing the man walk past the doorway. And I think you mentioned he saw him in like a full garb, right?
Yeah, he mentioned that he saw him in overalls and a white shirt, and it was very descriptive of the time and what workers would have worn in the late 1800s. So
Yeah, so I think that was a skimpy scare because we didn't see it.
Right.
And that's always skimpy for me. But cool that, Zach was so affected by it. He said something like, this event pumped us up. Like, he got really jacked for that.
Yeah,
Like, he got super pumped up because he saw that. But he also said, like, shortly after that, he felt that they were surrounded by ghosts. Like, just being in there, he felt that they were everywhere and just kind of watching him.
yeah, I thought that was really cool because if you think about, again, the elements of that environment and the metals and what was kind of going on, it makes sense for there to be a lot of residual energy and a lot of stuff recorded at that location.
Oh, yeah, definitely, because the metals, like, kind of hold on to it. Yeah,
right.
like you said, recorded. Another skimpy one for me, though, was that Aaron kind of hears footsteps later on, but we don't hear it, you know?
Yeah.
And then also those glowing lights. So they see some glowing lights. Where is it? I forgot. They're like looking down a hallway or something.
Is it the tunnel?
Like maybe it is the tunnel. I don't remember, but I remember seeing the little lights. And I thought it was kind of funny because they start running after the lights. You see like
Right,
Zach
because
and Nick
that's where they
run.
hit in the sewer water.
Oh, okay.
They're running
yeah.
after the lights.
Yes, exactly. That's right. Because that's when Aaron is splashing in the sewer water, and they're like, "Come on, man!" But yeah, they see those lights, and they're never explained. We do see them, which is cool, but it could have been anything,
yeah.
And they didn't find anything. They didn't capture anything outside of a couple glowing lights. We don't know if that was a piece of machinery or something. So
Same. No, I think you really covered all the skimpies for me. I didn't have anything additional to add to the skimpy scares. So I guess that leads us to some honorable haunts. And there were some really good ones in this episode.
Yeah,
some
what
really
you
great
got?
stuff. For me, one of the first ones I have listed here, I'm always a big fan of the tech. In this episode, we use our first thermal imaging camera, and that was a big deal because using the thermal imaging, they also bring back the dark camera in this one as well. Zach goes through with the dark camera and then uses the thermal imaging to try to pick up on some stuff. So just using that tech was really exciting for me because it plays a big part in other episodes and we get some really good stuff on it.
yeah, again, I mean, by now you guys probably know that we love anytime they introduce new tech.
Yes.
It's always exciting. But yeah, I think the dark camera, that's that one that he said in like episode like 2 or 3, Hot and House, that's right, where he said that it like attracts ghosts, right? It's supposed to like bug net them, basically.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
like-
No, so that was an honorable one for me. And then we got some really good EVPs. One of the ones that I made note of, they capture a child's voice. And that's always crazy to hear, especially when there's no stories of children in the initial part of the investigation. Like we didn't hear any stories of kids dying or anything like that. But then we pick up on this kind of childlike laughter in the EVP. So that was just kind of cool to hear. They didn't really press on it, but we did pick that up and that was good.
Yeah, I wrote that one down too. And I didn't even think about that, about how like nobody said that there were kids or anything.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if it's demonic. Oh, she read my mind. Ooh, I got chills.
That's good stuff. So those were some of mine. I'm sure we have some of the same.
Yeah, we have a ton of this one had such good like juicy stuff in it. There was that moment where Aaron gets bumped and punched in the eye, and then when they leave the tunnel. Like Aaron gets pissed and he wants to leave the tunnel.
Yeah.
But Zach is like, no, we're not going anywhere. Like Zach is so not having it. And Aaron is like ready to get the F out of there. which is like what happened to that kid, Kevin Walden.
Oh, Kevin Walden. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So one of the first kids they interviewed, right? DC Shoes.
DC Shoes.
Got slapped in the face, and then Aaron gets hit in the eye, and it was a really big deal. You can see kind of the area get a little red, but he really reacted to that. So we believed it. We put it in the honorable. Oh, the mist, maybe the mist that they picked
the
up.
black mist between the railings.
Yes. And that was accompanied with some audio as well. So this mist manifests in the area, and then you hear kind of what Zach describes as banging like on metal, so possibly a worker doing its job. But that was a really cool moment because it's in, it's out, and it correlates with the audio that they pick up. So that was some really good paranormal right there.
Yeah, I love anytime there's like a shadow, unexplained shadow or mist or anything like that. Because they actually got two. That one was like the black mist, right?
Right,
Between
yeah.
the railings. And then later, towards the end of the episode, they get that like white mist.
Right. Yeah. And
that
that
one was
one,
crazy,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's probably the biggest honorable haunt. But before we get to that one, we got another EVP of I Hate Zach.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And this one's cool for me because moving forward in the show, the ghosts start to reference Zach. And there's even episodes where they revisit locations and the spirits acknowledge Zach. And it's such a thrill for him. He's like, I love when they say that.
Yes, he did say that.
And I'm like, who would love to hear a spirit acknowledge them? Like, that doesn't excite me personally, but Zach, like, got such a thrill. And it was really cool to hear on the audience side, like, oh man, it's intelligent, right? It's picking up, it knows these guys' names, and it identified Zach, and it hates him.
Yeah, I like and I'm so excited to continue rewatching to see when that starts, because I remember that like they'll go into a place and it's like immediately get Zach out. I hate Zach. You know, kill Zach, whatever, because he's just so known by the spirits and ghosts as being a jerk. Like, and I know that he says, you know, like, oh, I'm not being disrespectful only to the mean ghosts or whatever. But it's like, dude, you're still being somewhat disrespectful. And I understand that he does it to get something.
Right.
And it makes for a really juicy show.
It does.
Works.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like, I love it. Sorry, spirits. Like,
I'll never do it,
you know,
but Zach can do it for my viewing pleasure. But yeah, so that was a good one for me. And then I think really the last one was where you were getting to just a moment ago with the white mist, maybe.
Well, I was thinking about that moment where Zach is kind of like calling out Slag and being like such a jerk. Like he was saying stuff like, oh, I can't quite remember exactly,
I'll
but he
take
was
your
like,
job.
oh, yeah, I'm taking your job and you're mean and just like talking crap. Like you overwork people, whatever. He was just antagonizing, being Zach. And he's looking for an intelligent response, right? So he wants a response, you know, to what he's saying. So he's saying like things like make a noise or whatever.
Yeah.
And eventually he starts getting noises back and it gets like, you know, loud pipes and stuff.
Right.
And then after being such a jerk and being like, you know, you're so mean, Slag, I'm taking your job. Slag, you know, apparently starts making noises. And then he's like, you're doing a real good job there, Slag. That's pretty good, buddy. All of a sudden, Slag is his buddy. Like, oh, he flipped that switch real quick.
Yeah. And I think that comes back to really what you said earlier, where he's like, we only provoke bad spirits. I think that's funny because once he's able to provoke them, get the evidence he needs, he's respectful, right? He's like, oh, okay, you showed yourself, you did what I needed you to do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah,
Right?
I guess
Like,
that kind of shows, you know, that's what he says he does. So I guess so. But I think in that same little session where he was down there, that's where they got the EVP that says, come here, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that one was a good one.
And now, is that last big mist at the very
Yes.
end of the episode.
With
Nick, yeah. And Nick, I think, was hearing like angry sounds before it showed up, right?
Yeah. So they time logged it. It's 4:17 a.m. Ooh. Nick's sitting in the tunnel all by himself. Just an X cam on him. And of course he's the same as Zach, right? He's provoking. He's asking them to make noises, come get him, do all this stuff to him. And then he hears something and gets up and kind of starts running away from the noise that he heard. And then we later see on camera this manifestation, almost I'm going to say a full on apparition, really, because we later see that it's a full arm and maybe like a full-on body. And that's where we get really introduced to Billy, because they take this evidence to Billy to review
At the pimps.
at the pimps center. and then they kind of change the coloring of the image, and then you can really see this full body, and it was a really great capture.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was
chills.
so spooky.
I'm shaking.
Definitely the best haunt of the episode. They got some
Yeah.
really good stuff in this one, though.
Yeah, so I think that's the top honorable haunt for me.
I guess it's time to talk about some scary fashions, eh?
Oh, my favorite part.
Zach's fashion fall. She is like seriously screaming in the.
Well, if she saw what we saw in this episode, that's why she's screaming that way. She knows what we're about to drop on y'all.
Give it to me, because this episode, I love it. It has some of my favorite stuff. Go for it.
Okay, all right, I'm jumping in. As always, affliction tees, right?
Yes.
This one, a beaut. It has a huge crossbones on the front and back, but not just any kind of crossbones. It's bedazzled.
Yes.
On Zach's chest, on his back. That shirt has to weigh 50 pounds because of the bedazzling alone, but it's a beaut. What I also want to point out with the affliction shirts is that it's the appearance of Nick's first affliction shirt. Nick stick usually in the stripes or the basic kind of pattern.
Yes, Nick is so basic,
But
like
he
in
wears,
his style.
yeah. But in this episode, he rocks an affliction tee, and I'm wondering if there was some peer pressure, or if Zach went over to the J.C. Penney's and bought him one and was like, "Here, you're gonna wear this shirt." But Nick rocks one, and to be honest, I didn't make great note of it, other than he was in one.
Yeah, it was also kind of basic compared to Zach's, which
yeah.
is just so incredible. I love it. Oh, it's so good. It's just so bright, and just the dang skull. And wasn't there roses or something on
There's
it too?
always a rose,
and it is just such a Ghost Adventures staple. It's beautiful.
I wonder if he has all those
I
saved.
know. Zach, send me one, please.
Please, if I can just get one of Zach's affliction shirts,
please.
I don't care which one. I don't. I want one though.
It was great.
What I also made a note of here, and what I noticed really when Zach's hanging out antagonizing Slag, I made note of his shoes, and really because he's rocking some Doc Martens, and I want to give him kudos for that. I enjoy a nice pair of Docs, and Zach's rocking them, so kudos to you. So not really a horrible fashion, but I made note.
Yeah, no, those Docs were pretty cool. They were low too. They were low cut.
yeah.
Yeah, they weren't like the higher ankle boots.
Right? Yeah, no, he's not that cool.
No.
What about you? You got some?
No, as always, I know that, Zach's pants are just so big and heavy. And then he had that belt buckle.
Yes.
This time.
The belt buckle that he takes, he puts in the effort to tuck in his affliction tee into the belt buckle that we can all see. And it's not even that impressive. It's not like he's a cowboy or something. He's rocking this big buckle. It's like a Quicksilver looking thing.
Yeah.
It's nothing special.
It reminded me of those Hot Topic belts I used to sell. Because I worked at Hot Topic.
It had the seat belt buckle on it.
Yeah. Oh my God. If Zach ever hears us, he's going to be like, bitch, that buckle is more than what you ever make in your lifetime. Or you're whatever.
But yeah, that belt buckle was crazy. And there's a moment where his belt's not doing a very good job because when he's up and afraid of heights, right? He's kind of, like Bethany mentioned, he's kind of wobbling and trying to hunched over. So we get a little sneak peek of Zach's chones. And they are the brightest, limest of greens that I've ever seen in my life. And it's kind of really, Zach, you're wearing all black. You had to wear the loudest underwear on the face of the planet.
We saw your true colors, bro. You like them lime green chones.
You like bright colors. You're not fooling anyone,
Yeah,
Zachary.
But that was great. I loved that. I loved seeing that.
Oh, yeah. And I think maybe the biggest fashion faux is the hat.
Always with the dang hats. And it's funny. It's really interesting to me because he always picks these kinds of hats when he's getting the footage analyzed.
Yes. So this is, I guess, like his loungewear. Like he's like, oh, I'm just gonna take my investigation, my footage over to Billy at Pimp's, and I'm gonna and because I'm meeting a pimp, I guess I should wear this hat that looks like a fucking cross between a fedora and a bowler hat. And I thought that was great because I didn't know what to call the hat. And Bethany's like, it's like a half fedora, half bowler. And I was like,
what'd you say?
Like a fedoler. Like, I don't know what this hat is, but it's fucking awful. Like, I don't know, Zach.
I know. I mean, like, dude, don't wear the hat. Like, you look so much cuter without the dang fedora. All right, and just get rid of the fedora. Just burn it, please.
Burn the fedora. I don't get it. It's like the old school Peter Pan hat, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Like stick a feather in his hat and call it macaroni. Like what the fuck is that?
I hate you.
The hat's trash and it belongs in fashion faux.
It does. And I know we already talked about this, but man, Billy. Man, that hair. I'm so glad you snipped it.
Oh, so glad.
So glad he snipped it and got rid of the soul patch.
I kind of want to see what's under the hat though. Like I need to see why he has this blonde little tail hanging out the back of his head. Like, is it pulled back pony? Is it like,
if it's like a little mohawk, that'd be kind of cool.
Or like a little mohawk.
Wait, he did have a mohawk for a while. Do you remember that?
No.
Oh, never mind. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I thought he did have a mohawk. My bad.
Maybe he did in that moment in his life, but I didn't see it in this episode. Maybe we'll see it later, but I need to know what's under the hat.
Yeah.
It's gonna give me nightmares.
And then as always, Aaron is just real steady. He's always got his little vest, his cam vest, and he just looks great.
Yeah.
No problem. Real easy peasy.
Aaron's a winner. Consistent.
He's always a winner. He really is.
We love Zach, but I think we're really learning how much we love Aaron.
I know, right? Like I'm as we go along through this, I'm just like, you're just such a little ball of light, and I just love you. But don't get me wrong, I still love Zach. Like he's just so fun. Like he's just so seems like a really funny dude too. Like I love when they banter and stuff. Like later on, in the series,
they're great. But that's all I have for Fashion Faux.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, good stuff. So that usually leads us right around to rating our interview. Yeah. So I don't know. My rating's blank in my notes, so I'm kind of interested in hearing where you landed.
On this one, I was really torn between like 3 and 4, but I think I'm gonna go with a 4.
Ooh,
just because like they got some intelligent stuff. Yeah. They got intelligent responses. They got really good EVPs.
Yeah.
One really incredible missed. And then one kind of like subpar missed.
Yeah.
I feel like once again, they hit a lot of really good ghost adventure moments. But I'm going to take away a claw. Because we didn't have any demons or portals or anything like that. But they did get physically like assaulted.
True.
So I'm going to go ahead and say 4 claws up.
I'm going to say 3.5. 3.5 claws. Again, good. I agree with Bethany 100% on what we got in the episode. But the big one for me was what we see with Nick. The EVPs are always great and fun. But I'm going to go with 3.5 for Sloss Furnace.
I think that's fair, actually. I was thinking 3.5 too, but I think I talked myself into the 4.
Yeah.
But I'm going to stick by my 4.
All right. As always, I respect it. So I think that leads us to the end of Sloss Furnace.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. I know I'm feeling a little heavy.
Always.
How's about a ritual?
Do it to me.
Hail to the guardians of the watchtowers of the east. Powers of air and invention. Hear me!
Excellent.
Love it. I feel so light. I feel so
always. Good. It really just brings my mood up.
It does. Good stuff.
And that's it for us today.
As always, right? I'm Leah.
And I'm Bethany. And we're signing off with 2 besitos
from these putitos.